Hi friends, welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. My name's Jonathan. I make luxury videos, unboxings, and reviews. And today I thought I would share with you my 20th anniversary Murakami collection. So let's get into it. So it's going to be about almost 1 year since the whole Murakami hurricane came and hit us all. I ordered my first set of pre-orders in December of 2024. So I figured it's almost 1 year. Let me share with you my collection. I do have some unboxings that I wanted to share with you, but I figured let me break up the videos a little bit because I've been sharing a lot of unboxings lately and share with you this collection and then continue some unboxings in the next couple weeks. So it all started in December of 2024. I got an email from client services outlining that the 20th anniversary Murakami collection is coming back and they're offering me to place pre-orders for it. I didn't know if it was legitimate or not because I had been off of YouTube for quite some time and I had personally didn't receive any news that this collection was actually coming back. So I reached out to my client advisor and she said, yes, this is legitimate. You're getting early access to these collections. So she sent me the lookbook and then I was able to flag out which items I wanted to pre-order. So that way when it came to the December 4th pre-order date, which is the date that I was being given, I was able to just secure those items and go through the payment links. Being naive at the time, my first set of orders were all just black multicolor items because I knew from the earlier collection the white multicolor had a lot of bleeding issues, there was a lot of discoloring, it was subjected to color transfer. So I was trying to avoid that with this new 20th anniversary collection. So I had only picked up 3 orders initially and they were all from the black multicolor line. If you watched my return to YouTube video, which was my Murakami unboxings, the 3 items that I picked up were the zippy coin purse, as well as the passport cover, and then obviously the pochette accessoires. So as I mentioned, I did place these orders back in December and I did get them sent to my house, and I think it arrived the day before or the day after launch, which was January 3rd. And I was super excited and I filmed that unboxing video and I thought that everything was fine and dandy until I started to have some little regrets. One of the little regrets that I had was because this collection meant so much to me 20 years ago, I was thinking to myself, did I need a white multicolor piece? Should I have gotten at least a small SLG? Should I have just swapped out one of these 3 black multicolor ones for a white piece, just in case, just as a collector's item? So I went down that rabbit hole and I was trying to figure out what item would be the best one to add, and that was not successful. My client advisor said that all of the white multicolor pieces, even the black multicolor, a lot of this collection in the initial wave around the January mark was very, very hard to come by, and they weren't even sure if they're going to do any restocks. Fast forwarding, a couple days later, I had gone to the mall with my mom. We had done a little bit of shopping and we stopped by Louis Vuitton because I wanted to see if they had anything for the Murakami collection, just so I can dip my toes in a little bit more, because I really did love this collection 20 years ago. And they had this one item available and I justified it because I use these on a daily basis, as well as I needed another one to add to my rotation. And what I'm referring to is the cologne. So I ended up picking up the Imagination scent with the super flat panda on it, which I thought was the best thing to add because I didn't have any need to purchase any of the SLGs with the panda on it. So I figured, get the cologne. It's only about $80 more than it would be without the super flat panda on it. So that'll be a great addition to your collection as well. But then it's like Louis Vuitton sales associates just know how to sell you products. And so my client advisor messaged me and said that there was a wave of white multicolor items that are potentially coming in for pre-order, and she'll send me screenshots of the items that are able to be ordered at the time, and to see if I was interested in ordering any of those. Naturally, I was like, yes, please send them to me. And the 2 items that I was really hoping that were going to be available for pre-order was going to be the Nano Speedy in the white multicolor and the pochette accessoires. I was really hoping for the Nano Speedy just because I already purchased the multicolor Noir pochette accessoires. So I was like, okay, let me try to get a Speedy Nano just so that way I'm not duplicating bags. Unfortunately, none of those came up, and so I panic bought this. And if you're not new to my channel, you're gonna know what it is. It is the multicolor high-rise bum bag in white. I have yet to use this bag. I still don't know how to incorporate it into my lifestyle, but it was more so just so I can have a white multicolor piece. And I did it. I purchased it, and obviously I regret it to this day because literally past the date of when I could return this, the next item that I'm about to show you became orderable, and that's when I completely jumped off the wagon. So right after the return period had expired for that high-rise bum bag, my other client advisor messaged me, the one that's online, and said that she could place an order for this. And you know what this dust bag is. It is going to be the white pochette accessoires in multicolor blanc. And that is when I truly regretted purchasing the high-rise bum bag, because I would have preferred this one because it was my second option if it wasn't able to get the Nano Speedy. And so naturally I panic bought this one as well, because I'm like, well, this is at least my number 2. If I really don't like the high rise and if I can't incorporate it, I can probably try and sell it later on. But I ended up with this. This one took a while to get to me. It took about 2 months to order it. And at that point, we had gotten into launch number 2. And so because I had known that I was securing this one, I had the other pochette accessoires. The launch number 2 wish list mostly consisted of the pochette accessoires in that collection. However, that one was very, very difficult to obtain, and I had no luck getting it. They didn't even do any backstock orders for it, like what Louis Vuitton did with the first drop, where they were secretly sending out drops throughout, and you were able to still order multicolored pieces until like May or June of 2025. So 6 months after the collection had launched. They didn't do that with the second wave. That one just completely sold out. So unfortunately, I didn't obtain anything from that collection, which was perfectly fine because my wallet needed a break because of the whole craziness of drop number 1, which allowed me to save for a little bit more for drop number 3. And that's when I kind of just bought for the sake of buying. Let me rephrase that. I didn't just start buying for the sake of buying, but I started panic buying slightly because of how difficult drop 2 was. I was imagining that drop 3 was going to be just as difficult, and as you can probably imagine, the item that I had my dead set eyes on for the drop 3 was going to be the pochette accessoires, because I had gotten them in the previous drops. So I really, really, really wanted to secure that pochette accessoires. However, it was not coming to me as quickly as I had hoped. So I woke up very early that morning of the drop, just so that way I can make sure that I have my Louis Vuitton app ready, I have my computer going, and that way I can try to see if I can secure some of these pieces super on, because they were dropping around 7 a.m. at my time. So I woke up, started to get everything ready, and saw that all of these items were already available on the Louis Vuitton app. So I started to add these things to my wish list, started doing the notifying me sections. So that way when Louis Vuitton sent me the reminder that they had become available, I can quickly just check these out of my cart. So naturally, I was very much trying for the pochette accessoires from the beginning, but was having no luck whatsoever. I was even trying for some scarves. I was trying for some just basically items that I knew I realistically didn't want. And that's where we came to this guy here. I just panic bought this. I don't need another passport cover, but I did check out. I don't know why I didn't just return it. I know I could have done that, but because everybody was trying to get their hands on this collection, I just wanted to secure as many pieces as I could. And so that's what I did. So this item is obviously the next item that I absolutely regret purchasing from this whole Murakami collection, just because it wasn't looking good that I was gonna get the pochette accessoires. It was not coming available throughout the entire morning or day. And so I purchased this thinking that, you know what, if I'm not gonna get the pochette accessoires, at least let me get this toiletry bag, because it is still a limited edition and it has the wipeable lining. So it's a little bit different than the toiletry bag that I have now. So that's what I went ahead and did, and I automatically just checked out when I got the notification for this. because this was kind of like my second option if I wasn't able to get the Pochette accessoires. Not that I realistically wanted this, like it was a very, very low second option, which should have been higher, which should have been lower than not buying it in general instead of buying it, if that makes sense. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So I ended up with this piece, and it's beautiful, don't get me wrong. I just can't imagine myself using it. I do have 3 other toiletry pouches over here that I could use instead of this, but you know what? It's a good for a display purposes, but I didn't need this. And then I think it was the next day or maybe even very late at night, this became available. I saw the notification, my heart dropped because I was like, damn it, do I do it? And obviously I did. But I realized that I need to exercise some patience sometimes with these collections, just because it could be a tactic of Louis Vuitton just trying to get as many orders as possible, limiting the stock as they release it, as they did with drop number 1. However, what I was very surprised with is when I went to go pick up all of these pieces from the store, they had all of these readily available. So I didn't even need to like fight for my life to try to get any of these, because I could have just walked into the store the day of launch and pick up these pieces without having to like panic buy or return anything. Obviously I could have returned these pieces, but I didn't, obviously, because I bought them for a reason at the time. I'm able to afford them, and so I just gonna add them to my archive of the Murakami collection. But needless to say, I did learn a lot. I did learn that I don't need to panic buy with these types of collections as much as I think I needed to, as well as I really need to start to hone down into what I realistically want from these collections, because ultimately I cannot have it all. So I can't just panic buy. I need to be set in stone with I want this as my number 1, I want this as my number 2. But we learn from our mistakes, and this was a one-off. I waited like 20 years for this collection to come back, and so now that I finally have the money, I was able to add a good amount of pieces to my growing collection. Thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't worry, next week we will have a couple more unboxings. I do have 5 more items coming in that I'm very excited to share with you all. So if you like that kind of content or want to see more of me, definitely hit that like and subscribe button. And until next time, I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.